Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our Quest Connect session for March. And delighted to be with you for our Quest Connect Sunday session. So welcome to you. Thanks for joining us. I know it's a beautiful way to get together and share and be in our Quest community together. And so great for you to join me on this Sunday afternoon. And I don't know where you all are. I'm in southwest Queensland and we're having predictions of more thunderstorms and weather this afternoon. So I'm just intending that will happen after our time together. We're battening down our hatches and have had extraordinary rainfalls and flooded in, and I'm sure many of you have been, I'm sure you've all had the rain and storms and perhaps flooding and other consequences. So it's been a very intense time for those of us here on the eastern seaboard of Australia, and such a time to hold steady and be, doing all the things that we know we can do at Quest to keep ourselves, present and to be able to be in our peaceful event. So I was just trying to find the chat so I could see if any of you were commenting. Myself, there I am. Okay. So today's topic that I put up in the introduction is about coming to the world, viewing the world with a compassionate heart, because as well as our extreme weather events, we have the world events that are really, have gone off COVID, which we've been very focused on for many years, and now onto also very serious events in Europe that no doubt we're all aware of. And, it is really a time to be very conscious of where we're putting our attention and what we're thinking. And so I thought we could really support each other in being with that today. So let us start everything by doing nothing, as we like to do in our Quest programs and in our practice here, to arrive, and as other people are arriving to join us, to perhaps close your eyes or soften your gaze and bring your attention internally to yourself from all that may be going on around you or been going along with you today, and feel your feet on the floor wherever you are, and feel yourself sitting on your chair or your bed, or wherever you are sitting. Feel your body in that space and bring your focused awareness to your own breath. And with your consciousness, follow that breath in, slowly in and out. And really allowing your awareness to be centered on that breath, and following it, coming in and out, allowing the nervous system to become calmer. And then we practice coming to our senses, which is that we focus on, are there any sounds in your environment, inside your room or outside of your room? Are there any sights, whether you've got your eyes closed, behind closed eyes, in your soft gaze? Can you feel the touch of clothing on your skin? Are there any tastes that you're aware of? And any aromas in your environment that you're aware of? So that we bring our awareness to the senses, to the physical body, as a way of focusing ourselves into the present moment. And again, bringing our awareness back to the breath, following that breath in and out, knowing how aware we are of that breath. It is our steady companion through all of life. And then bring our awareness to, pardon me, our Quest community, whether you've been to Quest physically or you've just been with us online. But no doubt by now, if you've joined us often, you've learned to recognise the feeling of our Quest being together, what we speak of, what we bring to our awareness. And so just bringing your awareness to that. Quest Connect group, and there might be that you've never met any of us or we haven't met each other, but still there's a beautiful feeling of community that you can tap into at this time. And notice now if there's any changes in your body from when we first started to now. And just breathe into that. Hopefully a calmness, your vagus nerve has calmed, your brain chemistry has changed, you've sent messages to your nervous system that it's okay to calm down, to be calm, that we're engaged in an activity to support us, to uplift us, to encourage us on this Sunday afternoon time together. So thank you for joining me in that. And so I wanted to talk today about, in the face of world events and things happening that maybe are literally at our doorstep in terms of rainfall or weather or flooding, or seem on the other side of the planet in terms of conflicts, and we know that our family, our human family, there is suffering. We know that people's lives are being greatly disturbed and distressed, and some people's lives are being ended by weather events and actions and things that are happening. And most of us who are in the Quest family are here because we have experience with anxiety, depression, trauma, which means that we can be quite sensitive to these events being broadcast into the world. We can be very aware of them and we can feel them. They can actually have an impact on us. And I want to invite you to be very conscious, particularly if you are aware currently of having a journey with anxiety, depression, or any form of PTSD, to really make decisions about how much media you look at, how many in-depth interviews you watch, how much you expose yourself to those stories. And because I know that the depressed brain likes to follow those stories and likes to immerse itself sometimes in the ins and outs of it. And it's interesting because it's like when our brain is full of the chemistry of that kind of crisis and fear and discord and upset, it's like our brains are attracted to that. We want to know more about it. And I find that often people who are depressed and anxious are watching more of these documentaries, immersion, news stories in these kind of world events. And if you're struggling with your own mood in the daytime and the nighttime, if you're struggling with your mood being low, being anxious, feeling that the world is becoming an even more dangerous, terrible place, then I really invite you to be very conscious about how much time you immerse yourself or expose yourself to those stories. Because I'm going to suggest to you today and share with you that there is more productive and useful things you could be doing with your brain, with your energy, that will not only help you, but potentially help the entire human family. And so often we immerse ourselves in the stories of the suffering, and then we go to the thought system that says, oh, there's nothing I can do. Look how terrible the world is. Look at the madmen, the terrible people doing all the terrible things. I'm a helpless, hopeless victim of this world. So are those other people, helpless, hopeless victims of this world. And we get lost down a rabbit hole of feeling all the potentially awful things about life. Now, the reverse of that is not to say, think happy thoughts, be happy, pretend it's not happening. Not at all. What we very much are about at Quest, we don't spend our lives telling people to run away from things or to distract from things. It's not about that at all. The message we bring at Quest is that the best thing that we can bring to any situation, whether it's a global situation, whether it's a personal situation, whether it's an internal situation, whether it's an external conflict, the best thing that we can possibly bring is ourselves in a response-able, response-ready state. Not in a reactive state, which is, oh, isn't it terrible, isn't it awful, there's nothing we can do, how dreadful. Not in a reactive state, but in a response-able state. Now, we've been teaching this for a long time at Quest, and what we're really delighted about at present is that there's so much new, wonderful research and information about the brain, what's involved here, and about trauma-informed work, that it's added. It hasn't changed what we teach because we've always been actually teaching this same information, but now there's wonderful science and experiments and things for us to back it up with and quote to say, do the experiment for yourselves. We are not asking you to believe anything. This is not a faith-based anything. This is about, let's do the science, let's look at our experiments, let's look at our experiences. So, how does this apply to what we're saying? So we're saying, if we can come to any news story, any sharing, even when we're looking at pictures of terrible suffering, we can be an effective part of a response of humanity. And I'm hoping that you've heard, as I have, beautiful young people in the Ukraine, in Russia, all over the world saying, we can feel, they're talking to camera and they're saying, we can feel the rest of the world caring about us. We can feel the rest of the world interested in us, witnessing our suffering, witnessing what we're going through. We can feel you. Thank you. That is supporting us. Every time I hear that, I am so rejoicing because I know that that is what we can contribute. We can contribute it to those people on the other side of the world. We can contribute it to ourselves. We can contribute it to our families always. Now, this is actually based in the quantum physics, very well researched and experimented understanding that the world is a quantum field, that there is electromagnetic energy in every molecule and every subatomic particle, both in our bodies and outside of our bodies, and that what is a feeling resonance in one human affects all other living beings, humans, animals. Any of you who love or work with animals, you know this too, how we feel, how our animals feel. We're in a field that impacts each other. This is very well scientifically proven now. And so when we are in this field with our human family that we know is suffering, we want to be, if you will, on the boat. They're suffering on the boat. We want to be on the other side of the boat saying, how can we hold the ship steady? How can we help balance this equilibrium? We're not going to distract ourselves and say, oh, we don't care, or we're not there, or there's nothing we can do, we're going to go. No, we can actively engage and we can be part of what makes a difference by bringing our compassionate heart, our presence, our loving attention, our caring, our concern actively into the field. This is wonderful information and knowledge. And we've been practicing this at Quest for a long time with a practice that we call sending rainbows. And some of you might have seen or been to Quest and have some of our rainbow ribbons, our rainbow teddy bears, our rainbow felt hearts, beautiful pictures with rainbows. Where Patria discovered this many years ago when her son was a little boy and having nightmares about traumatic things that had happened in their life. And I'll leave you to read her life story books to find out more about that beautiful story. But it was a practice she was taught by a child therapist in San Francisco in the day, and many of you may have come across it in different forms. What's interesting is there's been quite a bit of research about it, both in research in the quantum field and research, actually, interestingly enough, in the impact of prayer and meditation. And they have found that conclusively, double-blind studies, really good studies, you can look them up, that when people think of each other, we say, I'm thinking of you, I'm sending you love, or I'm sending you a rainbow. Maybe we think that's just wishful thinking, but in fact, there's very good evidence to say that this does have an impact. They did one study in Israel, which was so fascinating, that the people who had people praying for them recovered. Their healing process in the hospital was demonstrably faster, statistically faster than the people who didn't. I love that study, and it's been reproduced in different ways. So it's never true that there's nothing you can do. And what is true is that we have to be very specific about what we do, about how we bring our compassionate heart, about how we bring our caring, our presence, our intention into the consciousness of these events that are happening in the world. And this is what I want to talk about today, because of course, when we do and focus our minds and our activities and intentions on something that is helpful for others, it is always helpful for ourselves as well. So there's a couple of key points here that really, really make a difference. And some of the latest brain trauma research has given me, and I've been teaching this for a long time to people who I teach how to be counsellors and therapists, but there's new ways of understanding it that I'm finding really fabulous. So think of this, that perhaps you grew up in a family where people thought that saying, I worry about you, I'm concerned about you, people thought that was a loving thing to say, that they were showing their love by worrying about you. And in some families, worrying equals love. You know I love you because I worry about you. You know I love you because I'm concerned about you. That's how I show my love, with my worry and concern. Now, if you've experienced that, you've been on the receiving end of that, I ask you in this moment to just consider, how did that feel, hearing that message? That person's worried about me, they're concerned about me. Did it actually uplift you, help you to do better? Or was it, oh, I know, Mum, I know, Dad, I know, friend, I know you are. But really, in the face of that worry, often we kind of protect ourselves, shut down a bit and go away, because we don't know what to do with, okay, you're worrying about me. That energy is not actually very uplifting. In fact, it doesn't feel like love, because love is an uplifting energy. Love is something that lights us up and gives us a sense of openness, whereas worry and fear and concern tend to make us contract and go, oh, and then what often happens in families, just see if this has happened in yours, is then we stop telling people things. We stop sharing, how are you? We go, oh, yeah. And we don't share with them how we feel, because we don't want them to worry. We don't want them to worry, and we don't actually want to receive the energy of their worry. So then we stop sharing things. And so many people say, oh, I don't tell my parents things because it upsets them. I don't tell my husband, my sister, I don't tell them things because it upsets them. And of course, you know what happens then. We become more isolated. Life becomes more difficult because we can't share things with someone and feel an expansion from it, which is ideally what we'd like to feel. So what you're saying is the difference. Well, how do you care without worrying? Excellent question. I'm glad you asked, because this is what we really want to talk about today. So you might have come across this in different things. This is really speaking to the difference between sympathy. Oh, you poor thing. Oh, I'm feeling you. I'm feeling what you're telling me. I'm feeling upset by it. I'm feeling saddened by it. I'm feeling distraught by it. And now I'm feeling it. And I'm giving it back to you really in a way of, oh, that's so terrible. I'm so worried. Oh, you feel so bad. I feel bad for you. Oh, I wish there was something I could do to help. Let me know if there is something I can do to help. Oh, I don't know what to say. Oh, that's so terrible. Well-meaning, truly caring, and not actually an energy that is very easy to work with. And if you had a counsellor or someone who was helping you who did that, you wouldn't go back because it wouldn't feel good. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's terrible. All I know how to do is worry about you and feel bad for you. I don't know how to help you. I don't have anything else to offer you. So that's sympathy, right? Oh, you poor thing. I feel so bad. I feel sorry for you. I don't know how to help you, but I'm feeling you. And now I feel bad too. And that leads to guilt on both parts and usually a shutdown. Oh, I would ring her, but it's so hard and I don't know what to say. And then it creates distance. It doesn't create intimacy. It doesn't create sharing and caring. It creates kind of blocking and avoiding, and that conversation's too hard to have and it feels awful and I feel awful afterwards and I don't know what to say. I'm pretty sure you might be familiar with this. So what, you ask me, is the alternative? Yes, there is one. It's called empathy. It's what we spend a lot of time training people in the counselling professions to do. Some people truly are just born with it. Some people learn it in their families because their parents are empathic. We know actually it is the key to feeling loved by anybody. We feel loved when we can feel another's empathy. Oh, wow, what is the difference? So the difference is that when we are able to be empathic, it means that we have a skill set. It's not that we're a better person. It's not that we're a bigger person. It means we have a skill set. We can teach it to people. I've spent my career teaching it to people. Some people are naturally gifted at it. Others find it harder, and it can be taught. So I offer it to you today because it's such an important thing that will help you deal with all that you're hearing on the news today and any difficult conversations that you may be having with people impacted by the weather and COVID and by the news overseas, because a lot of people here know people that are impacted or know people that they're concerned for. So empathy is when we are able to feel what the person is telling us. We have a feeling response to it. I feel something in response to what you're saying. I feel something when I see these pictures on the news. I'm feeling, it's like, oh, I'm feeling the upset. I'm feeling the distress. I'm feeling the disturbance. And then what I do with it next is really the key. I usually find myself, even when I'm watching the TV, I find myself with my hands on my heart. We do something with it, which is that we know how to regulate our own systems in the face of feeling this distress. So parents, I really encourage you to have a look at this one, because if you can do this in your parenting also, it's a tremendous skill, which is I'm feeling that my child is unhappy, disturbed, upset. I'm feeling my human family is experiencing things that are difficult. I bring it into my heart, or I might bring it into my brain. And what I do with it is I do the things I know how to do to regulate my own system in the face of it. Now, you've heard us talk here on Quest Connect, often many of us in different ways. This is the difference between reenacting our trauma. If you have PTSD and someone tells you how to go, oh my God, that's so terrible, oh no, this is awful. If you go into a reactive state, you know that doesn't help you and it doesn't help them. So if we go into, oh, now I'm worried, now I'm upset, now I'm anxious, we know that doesn't help you and it doesn't help the other person. So we want to make, if we can, a very conscious decision at this time. And after today, you know it's a possibility, and you may not be able to do it instinctively, but you might go, what was she saying? How do we do that? And come back to our Quest Facebooks and have a look, because we talk about it a lot in different ways. It's like, okay, wow, I just really felt that. I felt that so strongly. Oh, I've just been watching the news for half an hour and I'm trying to eat my dinner and I can't digest my dinner because there's so much anxiety going on and I'm feeling it. I can't watch a war and eat my dinner, or watch a war and turn around and do something else. I need to do something with it in my own system so that I can contribute something really helpful and compassionate into the human family right now, into the field. So this is the time where we do our breathing. We might just do okay, I'm going to take 3 big breaths while I'm watching. I'm going to count in for 3, hold for 4, out for 5, whatever. Different numbers get bandied about, but I'm imagining most of you are familiar with some idea of, I'm going to deep breathe, I'm going to hold the breath, which helps my vagus nerve. I'm going to breathe out for 5. Now these days, you can go on to YouTube and you can Google vagus nerve breathing, and you'll find many wonderful ways to do this. I'm going to do my tapping. You might have been exposed to emotionally focused EFT tapping. Wow, this is really traumatic. I'm going to do my tapping now, which taps on the different meridians that go from our faces, and that's going to help my nervous system to calm down. No, it's not changing world events. It is changing my nervous system. I am part of the human family. We are all connected. I am making sure that my contribution to the human family field right now is that I am feeling this and I am regulating myself so that I can be the part of humanity that's holding the boat steady. That we're all not capsizing into fear, anxiety, and worry, so that I can act when I need to. And maybe after I've watched this news, I'll get onto the computer and donate money to the United Nations to help those people, or I'll do something for the flood relief, or I'll get on the phone to someone I know who's living there and offer them my love and support. Like, we can take action after we've regulated. So we can do our breathing, we can do our coming to our senses, we can just imagine gathering all those people into our hearts and going, I'm just holding them in my loving awareness, and I'm doing everything I can to regulate my nervous system right now. Now I'm speaking as part of Quest Connect, and you probably all know by now that this is in the context of us recommending that we're all doing a regular daily meditation practice. So it might be, wow, that news really affected me. I'm going to go out and do an extra meditation right now. I'm going to do my movement right now. Like at Quest, we talk about the issue is in the tissues. We need to move the body consciously. And what's wonderful is that this information is coming, it'll be on all the websites that are about mental health, that are about trauma. All of this information is no longer considered out there. Everybody's now got the memo that the yoga, the breathing, all of these things, humming's one of my favorites, just to make noise. We're listening to this news, go, oh, because it helps regulate our system, right? So that there are many techniques available, because this is the key to empathy. When I feel what you're telling me. I feel that you're there having this experience. I'm regulating my system into a place where I can feel my caring, my compassionate heart, my love. What I'm feeling is not the fear and the anxiety. I'm bringing myself into a state where I can feel the love for humanity going through this experience, And then I can offer it into the field to send a rainbow, to send love to those people. And maybe rainbows don't work for you. You can send loving thoughts. You can send stars. You can send anything you like energetically. This focus, your willingness to focus your attention on those people and say, I feel you. I'm feeling for you, but not from a place of, I also am a helpless, disempowered victim of what you're going through. And it's not that I know the answer, or I know what to do, or I have a big theory about world events. Not any of that. Because usually we don't know enough about what's going on to really have these, and it's not our place, right? It's, I have a feeling, I'm a human being. What I'm putting into the field of human consciousness and awareness now is my loving, compassionate heart. So that when we can give the energy back, not as worry and fear. So let's bring this example back into a family. When somebody's shared, oh, this has happened, that's happened, you know, I'm feeling terrible, I'm worried. When we can go, oh, sweetheart, so I'm in the family now. I'm so sorry this is happening for you. I'm here, I'm listening. You know, if you want to tell me more about it, do you want to come around and have a cup of tea? I'm here with you. I'm regulating myself so that when you're talking to me, you can feel you're not upsetting me, you're not disturbing me, I'm not happy about it, but what I am is I'm loving with it. I'm not looking for a solution. I'm not trying to fix your pain, because what I know is the most helpful thing when you're feeling pain is to be in the presence of another human who can be present and calm and regulated with you. They may or may not come up with a helpful suggestion, and often they do because they're regulated and they're response able. Now, I'm just checking in, have you thought of this? How about that? Are you going to do that? Like we can do that, come up with helpful suggestions, but that's not the purpose of our interaction. We're not trying to, oh, let me see, what can I do? We're not going there. We're going to, the first step is to help you feel more regulated so that you're more response able to your own situation, and help me be response able to be with you. And that's empathy. So that when you're sharing, when you're talking with me, you feel calmer, and then you can think straight, and then you can come up with the next step. Whatever that is, whether it's a little step, whether it's a big step, whether it's just let's have a cup of tea. So I'm hoping you're seeing that this can be applied to big situations and small situations. And in the bigger situation, it may be that we watch a news broadcast and we're feeling for our brothers and sisters, and we go into our garden and we offer up such gratitude that we have a peaceful garden, or that we have a non-flooded garden, and that we take a moment to contribute that and say, I'm sending the peace of my garden to everyone who needs it right now, particularly the people in Ukraine, particularly the people in northern New South Wales, Queensland, wherever we're particularly aware of. I'm sending that energy to them. I'm thinking of them. I'm holding them in my compassionate, loving heart, because I do actually know that that helps. And maybe we meditate longer, we meditate more. I've had some truly extraordinary experiences meditating alongside traumatic world events. You know, and there are great thinkers, Eckhart Tolle and different people you may have heard of, who will speak to what can happen when people meditate while these events are going on. And I've just one experiment that's very well documented, and you find it in all the meditation research, where they got, I think it was only like it was 100 or 1,000, I'm not good with numbers, meditators, TA meditators, into the city of Boston one summer. Not Boston, I'm sorry, it was Washington, DC. one summer, and they just asked these people to do so many hours of meditation practice over a period of several months. And the crime rate in that city was reduced by a significant, I think it was actually half, it was reduced so significantly, simply by having 1,000 people meditating in that city of several million who weren't doing it before. Like, they've reproduced these experiments so that when we're meditating, we are doing something that impacts the field. So to me, that's a really good news message. And that difference between sympathy and empathy is such an important one to understand and practice if you can. Now, I know that if you're in the midst of your own traumatic response, it can be really hard, but maybe you can try it. Maybe you can try it with someone else who you're feeling for, and particularly if you're watching world events. So I do encourage you to not watch it for too long, and when you do watch it, to practice this bringing of empathy, compassion, our compassionate hearts to bear, and not going into agreement with this is all, the only thing that's happening here is terrible things in the world. There are many things that we can find that are different, and there are many intelligent, switched on, clever, peaceful people in all of these places doing everything they can to help and assist. So let's get behind them and help and assist where we can. So what I thought we would do today together is do a guided meditation to this end so that we can practice that together. And I'm going to play, as part of it, my crystal bowls. I'm just going to show you these bowls. Beautiful, made of molten crystal. With this one's got red earth from Sedona in it, and this one's got a beautiful moonstone in it. So some beautiful crystal bowls, and these, you might have come across these before, can be used as healing tools. Sound therapy heals, which another thing we're learning in the brain research and the trauma research is the efficacy of sound in healing and shifting the chemistry in the brain. So I'm offering that into our space today because I love them, and some of you might have heard them at Quest with me there at different times. And I'll just, a disclaimer before I do, is it very much depends on the quality of your computer sound system, how they sound. So they can sound a bit funny sometimes, or not sound at all, or be a bit distorted. So it's a kind of a mixed bag to even play them. So I'll do it very carefully. But if you think, oh, that sounds weird and awful, why is she playing them? It's to do with all our sound equipment. So I won't play them for very long, but they do have a wonderful calming effect. And what I know is that the energy you may feel from them is can be very helpful, whether you can hear them or not. So just go with me on that one, do the experiment, and you may feel them and enjoy them, or you may not. And I'm happy to hear about it either way. So let's come together now and gently, softly close your eyes if that feels comfortable, and feel your feet once again on the floor, and tune into your breathing with a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And we're going to feel our body in our space, sitting on our chairs, wherever we are. And just come into our presence and bring your awareness into your heart. And if you can insert the word into your loving heart and not engage with a conversation with yourself about whether you think your heart's loving or not. You're here at a Quest Connect on a Sunday afternoon, so I'm pretty sure it is. So if you're willing to just do that experiment, bring your attention into your loving heart. And breathing into your heart with the intention of filling your heart with love, with loving energy. And let that be the love you feel for the stars, the love you feel for a sunset, the love you feel for pussycats and puppy dogs, the love you feel, not for particular people. Sometimes you may feel that love for life itself. So feeling that loving heart of yours, and breathing into your heart now. And so we're going to bring into our mind's eye any images or stories you've been with this week of the disturbances, the experiences that we know our human family, our fellow brothers and sisters, animals are having in different parts of the world, where extraordinary events are happening right now. And we're bringing those images, imagining them in your mind's eye, and bringing them into your heart space, and breathing in to that heart with your loving attention. So you're directing and focusing your emotional tone right now. You're accessing the feeling of walking along a beach, or looking at the moon, or looking into the eyes of a puppy dog, or a baby, or a beautiful flower. You're accessing that love, and you're focusing that loving intention into your heart with images you might have reacted to this week from the suffering of your fellow humans. And imagine that in your heart you can see the base, the beginning of a beautiful, magnificent, hugely coloured rainbow. All the colours of the rainbow. The beautiful indigo, the beautiful orange, the beautiful yellow and green and blue and violet. Those magnificent colours are starting in your heart in this loving energy. They're like sitting in this pool of love in your heart. And make it as big as you can, this huge energetic. You know what a rainbow looks like? It's like sparkly and light-filled and diaphanous, and it's not real, you can't touch it, but you can see it and you can feel it, can't you? And you go, oh, look, a rainbow. You feel an upliftment from those beautiful colours and the sparkly lightness and energy of them. And so we're starting that rainbow in your heart and sending it now with your intention of your focused awareness to wherever it was you were aware of people particularly suffering this week. And it may well be more than one, and that's okay, because rainbows can go everywhere. So you're seeing this rainbow stretch across the planet to Europe, up the coast of Australia, to all the different places. You may see that rainbow go right around the planet and come back to you to join up again in your own compassionate heart. And just notice, if you will, any energies that you may feel in your own body as this energy, the am sending you caring. I am witnessing what you are experiencing. I care about it. It's true, I am not on the ground there with you, but I am on this planet with you right now, in this time and space frame, and I am sending you this energy, this love from my compassionate heart. And I'm doing it with a group of people right now. We are thinking of you. We are caring about you. We are sending you this energy. Bring your awareness to the movement of those colours through the space. Those beautiful rainbow colours. Seeing them in your mind's eye, how effortlessly they arc in that beautiful bow shape across the planet to wherever you are sending. Maybe it's to your own loved ones, or people who are strangers to you, it doesn't matter. We are all connected. We are all one. This is our human family. We do care. And notice that energy of that beautiful rainbow extending out of your heart to those places. And now notice how the energetic vibration, the beauty of the colours, the diaphanous, sparkly energy of those colours, it comes right back to you. You are at one end of that rainbow. While you've instigated it, you're sending it, you're also receiving it. And so allow your heart now to open even more and to feel, receive, perceive, imagine in your mind's eye that energy of the stars, of the moon, coming back to you into your own heart space, this powerful, powerful space. We don't need to wait for another person to come and unlock our hearts. Our hearts are our space. They're our loving generator to do with as we choose. So be in your heart now. And maybe you felt that nobody cares about your heart. So you be there now and let that rainbow come back and receive this love into your own heart. There is all the love of the universe actually available to be in your heart. And that's not just an idea. That's actually scientists looking at the electromagnetic vibrations in the cells in our body and seeing that they vibrate in the same way as everything in the known universe and the multiverses. We are literally connected energetically, vibrationally with it all. And when we can open our minds and engage our minds in this interactivity in our hearts and engage with ourselves and others, we truly can open up to new experiences and different experiences. And there are many accounts of these in Patria's books, in a book I helped to write, in other books, many places that you can find people writing of what can change in their lives and in the world when we do this practice. So coming back into your own heart, maybe you've got your hands on your heart, feeling that love, feeling that rainbow, connecting you with these events. And I invite you to look at what you may feel, perceive, think you are observing on the other end of that rainbow. Is there a way that you see it making a difference? And allowing your intuition, your imagination, all wonderful aspects of your mind to show up there. Maybe you're seeing something beautiful. Maybe you're just seeing the end of the rainbow, a pot of gold. as we've been told, whatever it is, allow yourself to be in that meditative space and connect yourself to all that human experience. We are humans sharing this lived experience right now together. So allowing your awareness to come back from those places, back into your own heart, experiencing that love, that peace, close to home, there for you, breathing that in, allowing your own system to regulate with a peaceful, calm, loving sensation. Knowing that when we do this individually, when we do this together, so maybe, there's world prayer events on the internet, or we can go out and walk, demonstrate with people, we can sit at home, meditate with people, we can do it on our own. Every time we do any of that, it's a contribution. It's us attending. It's us showing up. It's us being that difference in the world that we want to see. And it's us assisting ourselves with our own mental health, our own concerns. It's a form, in my experience, of loving myself, is to do this, because I am uplifted by it. I feel connected with it. I feel connected to those people. I do care about them. And I know that my love is important in the bigger picture to them. They may never know who I am. I know that I can make donations and show up in different practical ways to help them too, and that I'll do all of it because I care. So just notice if that information is resonating in your heart. If there is an ability in your heart to feel hopeful, to feel connected, to feel loving, to feel part of humanity in a way that makes a difference, even if you never leave the house. To be a part of the Quest family, where we do this with other people in present moment or later times watching it online, where we are part of that endeavour together. And allow that to resonate in your heart now, to feel that, and to feel if that can bring an expansion into your heart, into your sense of yourself. And allowing the breath to connect with that even deeper, so that you can breathe this sense of connectedness, this sense of oneness, this sense of wholeness. Can you breathe that into your whole system now? Every cell is capable of resonating, will in fact, must resonate with where you put your attention. Because every cell is filled with electromagnetic energy that can be measured, and it is being impacted in its frequency and how it feels by not only your brain and what you're thinking and feeling, but by your gut and by your heart, by our whole system. So allow yourself to consciously now send that rainbow into your whole system, your whole body, and particularly to any parts of your body that might be feeling in pain or unwell, or stiff, or like they're doing something you really would wish they weren't doing right now. bringing your attention of that loving rainbow energy into your own body at a cellular level. There's many people who've researched the cells in the Petri dishes vibrating and pulsating, if you've ever seen pictures of them. And it is absolutely proven time and time again that what people are thinking and feeling is impacting their cells at the cellular level. And maybe you're feeling in your cells right now a kind of buzzing or a resonance from the bowls. I don't know how they sounded for you, but you may feel them anyway. A kind of nice little vibratory sense, or not, but some people do. We can send that beautiful, colourful, diaphanous rainbow energy all through our body, into every organ, every gland, every muscle, all the fascia, all the connective tissue, which is so important to how we move and how we breathe. Every part of our cell, every part of our cells lighting up with this beautiful rainbow energy. And maybe you'd like to send some of that rainbow energy to someone else that you know whose body is not doing well right now, whose body is causing them concern. Maybe you'd like to send that rainbow energy to their body with love. Or to an animal that you love, or to animals caught in the floods, to people caught in the floods. Our minds just keep going back there, don't they? To our awareness of others. And now inviting us to come back into our own loving hearts. And again, if you're not in the habit of thinking of yourself this way, I really encourage you to take it up and say, yes, I have a loving heart. My loving heart feels for these people. I want to bring this love and encouragement and compassion into the world more and more. That is what I can do to help. Help steady the boat. Help steady the ship of humanity's consciousness right now. I can do that. I will do that. I'll show up in my meditation. I'll show up in every moment where I can be grateful for my life, and I will send it to all of those who may be struggling. So with another deep breath, and perhaps you're willing to be grateful to yourself right now for having watched and shared in this practice together in our Quest Connect session, whether now or later. To be grateful to yourself for your willingness to be here, to be loving, to be supported, to be supporting. They're all the same energy. And I thank you so much for taking an hour out of your life to share with us, to share with me. It's been an absolute delight. Please know that they can measure this, and we have made a difference today by doing this together. We have made a contribution to the field. We have made a contribution to ourselves and to all those we've sent that energy and intention to. It's not a belief, it's not a faith, it's a science. You can Google it, please do. So from all of us here at Quest Connect, I hope to see you again in the coming months, first Sunday of the month at 2 o'clock Sydney time. Thank you so much for being here, and may you have a calm and peaceful rest of the day and rest of the month. Thank you, everybody.